Cubit Rod Composition, Part 4, Radial. General topics: circle length to line weight, root 2 associated to arc length in the radial degree, a radial explanation of root length measures around the radian. Shown in picture 15 is the dimensions of the unit circle. The arc length of this unit circle is numerically equal to the measurement of root 2 pi times pi, the sum 4.4428 inner square segments diameter formed. The segments are realized in the lower left-hand corner of picture 16. The smaller diameter, as illustrated, is a redefined radian under the same shown leadership of geometry, the Pythagorean root 2 square. Instead of radii segments being used to determine arc length, S equals r theta, square segments are used as arc length communication and accordingly become web calibrations within the rod. In the larger diameter shown, the root 2 rod is sized around the diameter by a circle form means of 36 digits multiplied by 10 graduated into 360 degrees. Where 1 cubit equates to 18 digits on the rod, multiplied by 10 equals 180 degrees placement on the diameter. Respectively, 2 cubits equate to 36 digits on a rod, multiplied by 10 equals 360 degrees placement on the diameter. And in other words, the former 2 pi radians become 2 cubit in 1 rotation placement. Before moving on, in order to provide a mental representation of the unit circle in view of the ability to form a circle using a rod, let's unpack the cubit fractions displayed around the diameter. Since 1 cubit is at 180 degrees, or 180 degrees divided by 10, 18 digits locational on the rod, in essence, a half a rod and or turn. Respectively, 3 cubits would equal a rod and a half, or turn and a half at 54 digits, or 540 degrees. To forecast the 270 degree fraction 3 over 2, located at the bottom of the larger diameter, 3 the numerator in digit means, multiplied by 180 equals 540 degrees. Divide by 2 the denominator and the cubit means, equals 270 degrees. On the far mid-right of the illustration are numbered symbols in the column. These are the cubits and fractions of turns displayed around the larger diameter. The symbol pi is associated from a radius to a pi radian. Therefore, I created a new symbol in order to distinguish a square segment to radial means. The numbers in the first column correspond to cubits. The new symbol assigned, as mentioned, represents the square cube means to pi arc length shown in the equations located under 2 arc length column. The equations and where these numbers are integrated into the rod is the geometric framework of our ancestors. To explain, perpendicular in the 2 new symbol cubit row, the intercoincident square segment is multiplied by the root of 2 times pi, the sum 4.4428 equaling arc length of the unit diameter at 1 revolution. Accordingly, at 3 cubits, segment multiplied by the root of 4.5 times pi, the sum being 6.6643 is the arc length at 1.5 turns, divided by the fractional denominator 2 of the 3 over 2 bottom diameter's displayed fraction equaling the arc length of 1 unit diameter at 270 degrees, 3.33215. What is meant by the segment is multiplied in the first operation of the equation or equation shown. The segment size is the diameter, or in other words, the diameter's line itself is also the hypotenuse of the intercoincident square, so the diameter divided by root 2 is naturally the segment size. Root 2 is a communicator between the rod and diameter. These numbers were generated by the digit rod in the root length square tier of the rod. Note, located at digit 2, the first number in the times pi operation. Located at digit 3, the squared root of 4.5, and so on. Digits and cubits share the same common means, being that the rod is an evolved sequence of numbers populated by the dimensions of the square segment. The hypotenuse is interchanging and inhabited in the digit and root length increments. The root 2 table increments shown earlier are the chosen geometry that derives the measures, quite opposite of the measures today. The modern unit fully defines geometry, while ancient geometry fully defined the cubit. Lastly, the angle made when 1 square segment is wrapped around a unit circumference is 81.028 degrees. That is, 360 degrees divide by pi divide by root 2. Or, for a full mathematical grasp, 360 degrees divided by the root of 2 pi times pi equals 81.028 degrees. Divide by root 2 equals 57.2957 radian. To convert from degrees into arc length, circular degree divided by 81.028 degrees times segment, same segment means as mentioned earlier. For an example, 360 degrees divided by 81.028 degrees equals 4.4428 arc length of the unit circle. Also applicable, degree divided by 10 times pi divided by the root of 648, which is a unit rod length. Example, 360 degrees divided by 10 equals 36 times pi equals 36 pi divided by the root of 648 equals 4.4428. The architect's set unit controls all measures. To push it a step further, take a look at the square segment unit circle allocated to weight, wherein the geometry drives the inch to metric conversion. The pound equal to the arc length at 1 cubit rotation, and 1 unit segment equal to 1 kilogram. To take that a step further, you can add another tier of root 3 lengths, which would be considered as a square segment to the diagonal of the intercoincident cube to a sphere diameter. This is the insight into the 1-1 and 2-3 Pythagorean musical scale, wherein root 432 and root 648 in hertz are housed, mass and harmonics being one and the same. Basically, 3 and 4 in a carpenter sense of squaring a right angle. Based on the simplest Pythagorean triple, with the side lengths being 3, 4, and 5 units. Notably, unearthed ancient musical instruments from Egypt and Greece were predominantly tuned to 432 Hz. The hertz are already set in motion due to the fact that the scale is already assigned in Galileo's theory of acceleration. And finally, to put rod calibrations into perspective, in this unit diameter, any of these segments and their respective angles could be set as rod functionality, dependent on your desired path of discipline. As the example shown, the triangle segment wrapped around a diameter would equal 3.6275 circle-formed segments under a whole new leadership of radial navigation. Cubit ratios are infinite in choice and are in complete communication with each other through geometric matrix reasoning.